borderline. Emily stood on the balcony of her new apartment, the city lights below a glittering ocean of possibilities. At 22, she had hoped that moving to a new city would be the fresh start she desperately needed. Diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, BPD, Emily had spent years battling emotional instability, identity issues, and tumultuous relationships. Here, in this bustling metropolis, she aimed to distance herself from her chaotic past and build something stable. During the day, Emily worked at a local cafe, a cozy little place with warm lighting and friendly faces. She quickly bonded with Sarah, a co-worker with a gentle demeanor and a ready smile. Sarah's kindness felt like a lifeline, and Emily clung to it, grateful for the semblance of normalcy. But as the days turned into weeks, Emily began to experience strange, vivid hallucinations. At first, it was just a fleeting shadow in the corner of her eye, a trick of the light, she told herself. Yet, the shadow grew bolder, lingering longer, and becoming more defined. It took the shape of a figure, dark and imposing, with eyes that seemed to bore into her soul. This shadowy presence whispered insidious thoughts, preying on her deepest insecurities. "You're worthless," it hissed one night as she lay in bed, paralyzed with fear. "No one will ever love you." Emily's heart raced, her breath coming in shallow gasps. She squeezed her eyes shut, willing the figure to disappear, but it only seemed to grow stronger in the darkness. Her relationship with Sarah, once a source of comfort, began to suffer. Emily's fear of abandonment led to frequent outbursts and irrational jealousy. She pushed Sarah away, yet desperately clung to her, creating a volatile cycle that neither could escape. Sarah, patient and understanding, tried to help. But Emily's erratic behavior made it difficult. "Emily, you need to talk to someone about this," Sarah urged one evening after a particularly heated argument. "I care about you, but I can't be your therapist." Emily nodded, tears streaming down her face. She wanted to believe Sarah's words, but the shadowy figure had its claws deep in her mind, distorting reality and feeding her darkest fears. The hallucinations grew worse. The figure appeared in her dreams, always watching, always whispering. It told her she was a burden, that Sarah would leave her, that she deserved to be alone. Its voice was a constant, cruel companion, pushing her towards the edge of despair. One stormy night, after a particularly harrowing day, Emily reached her breaking point. The rain lashed against her windows as she stood in front of her mirror, the shadowy figure looming behind her, its presence almost tangible. "What do you want from me?" she screamed, her reflection distorted by tears. The figure's eyes glowed with a sinister light. "I am you," it whispered. "I am your pain, your fear, your self-destruction." Emily stared at the figure, realization dawning. It wasn't an external monster haunting her, it was a manifestation of her inner turmoil, a representation of her disorder. As the figure spoke, it began to change. Its form grew more grotesque, its features more defined. The eyes widened, filled with an insatiable hunger, its mouth twisted into a cruel grin. It started to reach out from the mirror, its cold, shadowy fingers inching closer to Emily. Panicking, Emily stumbled back, tripping over a chair. The figure continued to emerge from the mirror, growing more solid with each passing moment. The room grew colder, the air thick with a malevolent presence. Desperate, Emily reached for her phone and dialed Sarah's number, her hands shaking. "Sarah, please, I need help. It's here. It's real." Sarah's voice on the other end was filled with concern. "Emily, calm down. Where are you?" But before Emily could respond, the figure lunged at her, its grip icy and unrelenting. Emily's screams echoed through the apartment as the shadowy figure pulled her into the mirror, the glass rippling like water before returning to its normal state, leaving no trace of Emily behind. When Sarah arrived at Emily's apartment, she found it in disarray, with Emily nowhere to be found. The mirror stood intact, reflecting only the empty room. Sarah called the police, but they could find no evidence of foul play, only Emily's phone lying on the floor. As days turned into weeks, the residents of the building began to experience strange occurrences. They saw fleeting shadows in their mirrors, heard whispers in the dark, and felt a chilling presence watching them. The once bustling apartment complex grew silent, its halls echoing with an unspoken fear. Sarah, unable to shake the feeling of dread, started seeing Emily in her dreams, her face twisted in terror, reaching out for help. The shadowy figure loomed behind her, its eyes glowing with a malevolent glee.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.